welcome back to MMGinvest. Let's do some TA, some market analysis, technical analysis. First of all, I am not your financial advisor. Consult your financial advisor before doing anything. Stocks, extremely risky, extremely volatile. Do not invest money you can't afford to lose. Always have stops in place, emotions out, and what else? This is just my opinion. Go to my website where you can find data and research I've collected on mining stocks. There's a video there for an example. And if you're interested, now is probably the time, not later when the prices move higher for precious metals, which I do believe will happen soon again. Alright, so the stock market is pretty near all-time highs. Let's start with S&P 500. Here's the 3-day chart. Nobody looks at the 3-day chart, but I like to look at it. It's worked out pretty well over the years of looking at the 3-day chart. So every candlestick represents 3 days. We have a 9 sell signal with the TDI indicator, and but the price is getting fairly close to the previous all-time high of 3,030. Currently the price is at 3,000 here on the S&P 500 index. So I expect probably tomorrow or by the end of this week we'll hit new all-time highs, or we'll get a pullback. Now, I'm speculating and just thinking out loud. I wouldn't be surprised if the market takes a little breather and pulls back. And pull back, I mean, it's not going to crash or anything. I just mean it's going to pull back before it makes an all-time high or goes even higher. Even if it hits all-time highs, it's still going to pull back soon, right afterwards. Because the FOMC meeting, the Fed minutes, are going to come out on the 17th. Today's the 12th, so in about a week, right? Less than a week, next week. And you would think that the market would want to sell off prior to Jerome Powell coming out and deciding on how much they're going to lower rates, if at all. Because if the market is just screaming to the upside, hitting new all-time highs, doesn't look right to cut rates. And the market might want to pull back so Jerome Powell possibly cuts more than 0.25 basis points. Now, the market wants 50 basis points. In order for that to happen, I mean, the market would have to sell off significantly. So at this point, I would predict possibly just a 0.25 basis point cut. But I'm surprised the market hasn't sold off getting closer to the FOMC meeting here. So the 3-day is on a 9 sell. Oscillators for the S&P are, well, they're sort of bullish actually. But let's take a look at the daily. So the daily is also on the 9 sell. So when I have the 3-day and the daily on the sell signal with the TDI and the heat map and patterns, I don't really see too many patterns. Besides, it's trying to make a higher high, but it's probably going to make a lower high here. So that's what I'm thinking, because we have a sell 9 on the daily and the 3-day. So a pullback should happen. Will it run up and make a new all-time high tomorrow and then sell off? Yeah, that's very possible. I'm speculating that the market's going to pull back starting anytime now, this week. probably Friday, because it's take back Fridays. You don't want to hold over the weekend, it's risky. So a lot of traders take profits on Fridays. Looking at the oscillators, they're fairly overextended on the daily here. Let's take a look at the 4 hourly. By the way, I'll look at Bitcoin for a second before I end this TA. The 4 hourly, I don't see much right here besides the fact RSI extremely overextended. Momentum to the upside oscillator. My momentum oscillator is extremely overextended. And the MACD looks like it's about to cross to the downside on the 4 hourly. So the 4 hourly should kick off the pullback, and then the daily will follow, and then the 3-day will follow. And then the market could sell off into next week, starting off Monday. Then Powell might give the market what they want, which is a 50-point basis cut. And the market needs that to keep going higher and higher. So you could get that melt up that I've talked about. So if there's a pullback, I mean, I'm looking for either the 78.6 on the 4-hour time frame, which would take you around 2900, or 2800, the lowest for a pullback. I bet the market could pull back significantly by Friday, hit 28, 70, 29, somewhere down in this area, right? 2900, 28. And then we'll get the Fed minutes, and then the market will rebound and then make all-time highs. So something like this. This is kind of what I'm expecting for the pretty much the next week or so. Well, next few weeks. Just from looking at the chart and price action. So let's confirm this with some other indexes. Here's the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 also on the 9 sell on the daily. And it makes sense, right? If it makes a lower high, pulls back, I'll probably pull back to the 50, and then I'm not sure. I'm just drawing right now, and then does that, right? So the Russell's also signaling a sell. The FANG index also on the 9 sell on the daily. So, when you get a 9 sell with the TDI, it's either 1 to 4 candle pullback or a 9 candle pullback. And it doesn't always work out. It's accurate, I'd say 70%, maybe less, 60, 70% of the time. Depends with the news, right? And the trade wars and blah, blah, blah. Either way, I expect a 4 candle pullback moving up and towards the next next FOMC, which will be the 17th. So it would make sense for a 4 candle pullback. Powell, and then the market wants to see what Powell's going to do, right? Is he going to just give the market a 0.25 basis point cut, which it wouldn't send it up. It might that might actually trigger the market to keep selling off, or maybe sideways action for a while, and then we'll see. But if he does give the market a 50-point basis cut just on a small pullback prior to the FOMC, then the market's going to go screaming higher, and we're going to hit new all-time highs, I'm thinking, for the S&P and the NASDAQ and all that. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ already is past its 9 sell count, but that doesn't mean anything. It could still sell off. And all the indexes extremely close to the all-time high. But like I said, I'm I think speculators, traders, institutions, they're going to take some profit before the weekend this week. Trump might also say something just to make the market sell off prior to the FOMC meeting to sort of pressure Powell to give the market a 50-point basis rate cut, right? And Trump's been, really pushing that. As you can see right here on his tweet, the USA should always be paying the lowest rate, no inflation. It is only the naive of Jay Powell and the Federal Reserve that doesn't allow us to do what other countries are already doing. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we are missing because of boneheads. Boneheads. Anyways, it's a blame game. I've said that plenty of times. And Trump really does need Powell to keep cutting rates with the rest of the world so he could win his trade war, get manufacturing back to the U.S. Will it work? I don't think so. Like I said, you have to cut regulations and taxes for corporations and companies for the U.S. to become competitive on a global scale and to become an export nation again. And let's just say 3 decades of China and the world gutting the U.S. of its manufacturing base isn't going to get fixed with one president. All right. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but, so let's take a look. Let's go back to my market view here. Volatility index is very low. You can use the spike as well. The 10-year yield is at 1.73. It's trying to bounce or rebound here. This is what's really interesting. It's the dollar. So I drew another cup and handle, this time a big one, and this is a weekly chart. So a weekly chart of the dollar with a giant cup and handle right here. So can it shoot to 100? I think it can. And the dollar is going to get even stronger while the rest of the world gets weaker. For the trade war, it's bad because, if the dollar's too strong, no one's going to buy U.S. products. In the long run, though, it would benefit the U.S. to have a strong dollar, but not with all its debt. First, it has to wipe out the debt with inflation. That's the only way I see they could do it. It's either that or just default on everything, including, pensions and Social Security, everything that's owed to the citizens, which they won't do because, then you get a riot. Or a revolution. So, dollar looks strong. For the next few weeks, I see upside to the dollar. Just looking at TA. And this is a weekly chart. And then it might get close to 100, not quite hit it. We'll see. I don't trade currencies. I think it's stupid. If it goes to just 99.0 or 99.3 or 4, something like that, it's probably good enough. And then it'll trade sideways for a little bit, maybe pull back. I don't know. We'll see. It all depends what's happening in China and Europe. Because it looks like China is going to blow up before the U.S. and so is Europe, especially with Brexit. So that's also pushing the dollar up because the dollar is the least dirty shirt in the hamper of dirty shirts. Okay? And with global geopolitical and all kinds of risks, the dollar is still the knee-jerk reaction safe haven. Until it's not, and then it's bonds, and then bonds blow up, and then it's the dollar. Or then it's gold and silver, in my opinion, in the long run. For the next year. Well, if the market even gets the hint of Trump not winning the next re-election, the market's going to tank. So then maybe gold and silver will be, who knows, stratosphere by the end of 2020. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, Trump backed off on trade today because today is, it was the 11th. Yeah, today's technically the 12th, but because it's like 1 a.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time. So Trump yesterday backed off on the trade war, and he did that for Christmas shoppers and the consumers because you need a strong Christmas in the U.S. If Trump doesn't get a strong Christmas, right, revenues are going to drop for all corporations, and then the market's going to tank. And he needs to keep the party going for 2020 and his reelection, right? So that's the reason for the trade. And it's another reason why the markets rallied today and all this week. And because of the Fed Powell speech, that was my last video I just made today. At the end of this video, it'll pop up in the left corner. You could click on it if you missed it. You shouldn't miss that one. It was a good video. I think I did a good video on that. It's a little long, but you'll learn a lot. It'll put together the big picture. All right. Let's take a look at gold. So yesterday, I took profits on my short position on gold mining ETFs. Well, I took profits on my inverse ETF, and one of the guys asked, "Why is it?" Well, I don't want to talk about that now. I'll talk about that in a different video. Anyways, I took profits on shorting the gold miners for this pullback. So gold dumped, right? It's nothing major. It's really just a small pullback, small correction, which was needed. But right now, I am uncertain. I did put on a small long position on the ETF. Of course, I'm long and I'm holding my individual mining stocks, but I trade the ETFs. ETFs are a basket of mining stocks. I trade those. So I'm going to wait and see, because if the market pulls back, right, by the end of this week, that might give gold and silver a nice bounce or a possible rebound back up to the upside, taking out the previous high. Especially if Powell cuts rates by 50 basis points. I think then metals will make new all-time highs within the next week or so. Next I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. So here's a daily chart. I've got some low indicators here. The oscillators are telling me, especially the MACD, that gold possibly might rally on the daily time frame here. I was hoping gold would drop all the way down to 1470, 1460, but apparently it's stronger than even I thought. So let me throw on this fib, because I keep forgetting to save my drawings, and then everything disappears. So technically it's bouncing off the 23.6 fib retracement. So here's the scenario. This will either be a short-term bounce leading up to the FOMC, Fed minutes, and if Powell only gives the market a 0.25 basis point cut, gold might continue to sell off. The funny thing is, if he does give a 0.25 basis point cut, the stock market might also sell off. Can they both sell off together? Yes. Or the market sells off and then gold rises in anticipation, looking forward to the fact that they're going to cut rates in a big way next time. So I think he's going to cut 50 basis points for Christmas, unless they really are political and they want the markets to fall so Trump doesn't get reelected, right? This is how I think, guys. You gotta, you have to brainstorm this. So let's take a look at the 4-hourly. Load. Here's the 4-hourly. It did bounce off the the 100 period moving average on the 4 hourly, which was 1500 technically. The 4 hourly it's neutral because gold could fall for the next 8 hours into tomorrow and then rally late Wednesday afternoon or Thursday and Friday. So the 4 hourly is neutral as long as it stays above the 100 period moving average, which is 1490. Alright, I'm not going in order, but let's take a look at 12 hourly on gold. I will also look at 12 hourly. I'm starting to get a buy signal with the heat map alone. You know what? I had another gold chart. I'm using the wrong one. Here's the one I have drawings on. Alright. So let's go to 12 hourly. Here we go. The 12 hourly is giving me a buy signal. And that's why I put on a position before the market closed, technically yesterday, right? So I'm expecting a bounce or possibly just straight up rebound, and we're going to take out all-time highs in gold for this year, which would be sweet. And especially if Powell does a 50-point basis cut. Also, the ECB today, technically later on, when the market opens for Europe, which is in a few hours, they're gonna, I thought they have negative rates. I don't even know. Either way, if the ECB, right, Europe's central bank, if they're really dovish, that's gonna help push gold up anyways. Doesn't matter what the Fed does. So there you go. So this pullback, it's much shorter than I thought it's going to be. We'll still see. Still up in the air. We could get a bounce, right? And then it falls back down. But it's too early to tell for that. Let me go to the 3-day. What does that show us? Wow. That's weird. So the 3-day is even giving us a buy signal. Right at 1500 support. Let's take a look at the weekly. So the weekly is still overextended. RSI overextended, MACD overextended. OBV looks like it's going to cross to the downside. So this is interesting because we have divergence within the time frames. Technically, the weekly is more important than the daily and the 3-day. But here's the thing. I mean, we could get a bounce, right? Or a rebound. We could even take out the previous all-time high for this year. Hold on. And then it might sell off. Technically, on the weekly, I mean, so if gold could rally, listen to this. If gold could rally back up, at least till 1560, preferably makes a new all-time high for this year by Friday, which is very possible. This candle would actually be a 6 count within the 9 count. So maybe 7, 8, 9, maybe 3 more after this week, 3 more weeks of upside, and then we get another decent size correction. All right, looking forward for the long term on gold. So again, go to my website, and I see a huge uptick in people wanting my services when prices are going higher, making new highs, going parabolic, but they're never around when you're supposed to be accumulating on the pullbacks and dips and corrections, because people psychologically just think like that. I don't know. Also, they have confirmation bias, and then they're like deer caught in headlights. Anyways, let's take a look at silver. Let's see what that's telling us. Here's silver. Let's start at the weekly. Do it the right way, trend following, so you guys learn. All right, so the weekly was on a 9 sell, and it's currently pulling back, but I would say right now silver is still overextended. But you know, here's the thing. My bias, I know that silver's been manipulated so badly over the years that it's really undervalued. So, you know, with these 9 sells, it's 1 to 4 candle pullback, right? So this could be it. This could be just the 1 candle pullback, and then shoots higher. Like I said, it's going to do what gold's doing. So if gold's going higher, silver will follow gold. If silver is going higher, gold will follow silver. That's just how it is. Very rarely do you see them trading separate from one another. They do it here and there during a raging bull market. So, just to warn you. Let's take a look at the 3-day chart. Let me put on... it's pretty red on the heat map. Interesting. For the 3-day chart. Technically, silver may have more downside, but like I said, it'll ignore TA if gold is bullish and silver technically is not, according to TA. TA is an end-all be-all. Alright, guys? Let's take a look at the daily, see what that's showing us. See, the daily, though, is bullish. So, yeah, it's only on a 5 count to the downside. So, let's say, technically, it should fall for 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 more days. Technically, it should fall more for 4 more days. And then you get a 9 buy signal, and then it shoots back up. Let's take a look at the oscillators. RSI overextended to the downside, momentum all the way to the downside. So oscillators are oversold. Let's take a look at the 12 hourly, see if that gives us a better barometer for the next few days to weeks prior to the Fed meeting. So 12 hour hit an 8 and 9, and now it's technically it's ready to rally according to the 12 hour time frame for silver. And RSI extremely oversold. MACD oversold, about to cross back to the upside. So yeah, guys, for the short term, at least until the Fed minutes, I'm bullish. Like, we're gonna get a bounce, or we're gonna take out previous all-time high, possibly have a few more weeks of upside on precious metals. The mining stocks. Let me give you guys some examples. Here's one of them. Huge pullback dip. I bought some yesterday. I accumulated some more here on this one. Remember, we started buying at the beginning of 2008. Fantastic, right? Like hundreds of % gains. I'm still going to accumulate a little more on this one because I'm bullish on this stock. Here's another one. Broke out. I started accumulating over here at about $4. Peaked out at 6.28. Now it's back down to $5. These are just examples that I have up because I was sharing them for the private members. This one did really well as well. Nice breakout from $1. Rallied to $2.80. 180% gain. So there's possibly more upside on these mining stocks. And you know, this is what they look like from the previous all-time high. Most of the mining stocks. Look at this. Now, it's not only going to revisit this, I believe, but if gold goes to $3,000 or $5,000 and silver goes to 100, because it went to $50 at its all-time high in 2011. But if it goes to like 100 or $300, like these stocks are going to take out their previous all-time highs and go to the moon. Let me zoom out, show you guys. Look at this one. 2011 is up at $16. Right now it's still at 5. I'll show you this one. This one might be new. Yeah, this one's new. Alright, well, most of them look like that though. Alright, let's take a look at Bitcoins. Alright, so I drew this makeshift hunch for one of the members in the free group. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't really know. That's why I'm not posting a lot of Bitcoin charts, because when there's so much manipulation, it's like TA, it doesn't really help all that much. But I was just, this is not advice at all. I'm just, I have a hunch. I wouldn't be surprised if it breaks out of this triangle, right? Maybe it goes to 12,000, maybe 13, I don't know. Probably won't make a new high for this year. And then sells off. All the moon boys, all the YouTubers, everyone gets excited. They all go in. And then the manipulators unload on everyone who's left. And then it finally dumps and then goes lower. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just saying. So, because I did post this, and I said, I guess it's like a 50-50 at this point. It's a coin flip. I'm still bearish. I think backed will be buy the rumor, sell the fact. Okay? And it's not priced in just yet. Some people, maybe they'll get it to break up and out of this triangle, and then everyone's going to be like, buy, 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 buy. And then they unload a bunch of Bitcoin, and then you run out of buyers, dumps, and if it dumps all the way back down to like 10,000, it's game over. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, that was a hunch. I'm just guessing. So let's take a look at this chart. As of right now on the daily chart, Bitcoin's on the 7. 2 more days of possible downside, and then 9 buy signal, and then back up. Why isn't my triangle here? Alright, let me draw this damn triangle. Hold on, give me a second. I keep forgetting to save all my drawings, and they all disappear. Alright, there we go. So, like I just said, I was literally just saying that. We're on a 7 count to the downside, maybe 2 more days or less. And then it's probably going to break up and out of the triangle. And everyone's going to be a moon boy. FOMO. And then I think it'll fail up here. Am I certain? Absolutely not. I am not certain. I honestly don't take my advice. Do your own research. Figure it out for yourself. That's why I don't like making Bitcoin videos anymore. But I think this is actually a huge possibility. And this is just speculation. This is gut feeling. I could be absolutely wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if this happens. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the 12 and then the 4-hour. 4 hours also, or no, 12 hours also on the 7. So it makes it more likely, actually, that within the next day, tomorrow, it might start rallying up. Let's take a look at the 4-hourly. For hourly, not really telling me much. MACD already crossed to the upside and looks like it's failing. So the 4-hourly is actually slightly negative. There's also a huge Kumo cloud right above 10,140. We also have a moving averages, another moving average about to cross another moving average, which is bearish. That's probably why it's selling off right now. But I think it's going to be a fake out, and it's going to rally. And manipulators. Let's just say manipulators for now. They're going to make it go up and break out of this triangle. Let's take a look at this 6 hour, just because I'm curious. See, I did have a nice buy signal on the 6 hour, and I posted this in the private group of MMG because there's still some people in there who trade Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm bullish right now for the short term, which is like could be days to a couple weeks. And that's it for now, guys. Smash some likes. Leave anything in the comment section. It really helps my videos. And I will respond to your comments. Please share my videos. It's the only way my channel grows, and I will continue to do this. And see you guys next time. I'll make more videos. I'm going to try to make a lot of videos this week. I'll make another one tomorrow. Until next time.